Aloha, Larry Kessler here. After we talk a little bit about, well, aloha, I'm going to invite you to a workshop I'll be doing called The Secrets of the Heart, Aloha. Now, I know a lot of you just love sales pitches and you're going to want to jump ahead so you can hear it and sign up for the workshop, but try to control yourself. I know how you are. Just listen to the video and see if love is really something you need in your life or not. I once sat on the lanai at the Keoho Beach Hotel in Hawaii, sipping a Mai Tai with Uncle George Naope. Uncle George was a renowned master of Hawaiian chants and the hula. He taught for over 60 years, founded the annual Merry Monarch Hula Festival, and was once declared a national treasure by Ronald Reagan himself. So as we sat there sipping our drinks, a Hawaiian tour guide climbed up on a little stage in front of the group, grabbed a microphone, and bellowed out, "Aloha!" While Uncle George, who was usually very happy when he drank, suddenly went dark. His face pinched up in rage, and he sort of growled under his breath. "That makes me so mad. Aloha is the most sacred word in the Hawaiian language." He then looked up at me, a little embarrassed that he'd lost it, and smiled again. "Hawaiians should know better," he said. To a chant master like Uncle George, words are extremely important. So when he said that aloha is sacred, it wasn't just an idle musing. He meant that the word is not only precious, it has power too. It's often said that Hawaii is filled with the spirit of aloha. What does that mean? Auntie May Chen, my kumu, or teacher, who showed me the essence of what is Hawaiian, told me that there were many different kinds of healers and teachers in Hawaii. She said there are healers who have mana, or power, who can do good work, and there are those who have aloha, who can do miracles. The most powerful healers, she said, have both. She said, one can be healed by just being in the presence of someone who has great aloha. So already we have two clues about the Hawaiians' view of aloha, or love. It's sacred and a force or power that can actually heal physical illness. After the arrival of the missionaries, many meanings of the word have evolved. Knowing that aloha has far more significance to the Hawaiians than just the definitions found in the dictionary, how can we find the true meaning of aloha? What did the ancient Hawaiians really mean by that word? And if it's a power or force, where does it come from? Can it be cultivated and used in healing? The Hawaiian language is very simple. It has only 5 vowels and 7 consonants, plus the makena, which is a glottal stop. With so few letters, words have many meanings, depending on their context. Words can also be combined to create new words that take on new meanings. By going back to the source words, which are the ancient origins of the words, then the true meanings can be found. In English, if you combine horse and play, you get horseplay, which doesn't mean the same as its parts, nor do the source words enhance the meaning of the new word when you look at them. But if we take a Hawaiian word like aloha and break it down into its smaller roots, and then look at their individual meanings, we can pile these meanings on top of each other and flesh out the true meaning of the word. For instance, let's take the word aloha and break it down into alo and ha. Alo can mean the inside surface of a bowl, or bosom in the sense of bringing something into your heart and holding close. Ha means the breath. In Hawaii, the breath is also thought to carry the life force, something the Hawaiians call mana or power, and the Spirit of God. By adding these meanings together, we can derive a new meaning, Aloha, filling our inside surface with the power, the Spirit of God, and holding it close. But aloha can also mean to face or presence. Remember how Auntie May mentioned the healing power of the presence of healers with aloha? So combining that with the meanings for ha, aloha also means to be in the presence of God or to face the presence of God in another, similar to namaste. So see how the meaning of the word has expanded from simply love to something much more, something more sacred that involves breath, power, and the movement of spirit. Sometimes linguists believe that a word may have its origin in other words that were slurred together over time into other sounds. Some believe that the word aloha comes from two other words, ala and oha. Say them together quickly and you'll see what I mean. Ala can mean path, road, trail, or to awaken, awake, or to arouse. And oha can mean spreading, growing wide, thriving, or affection, love. And it also means a taro corm growing from an older root. A corm is an outgrowth on a taro root that grows into a new plant. So this adds new flavors to aloha. We now see that it can awaken, arouse, spread, grow wide with affection and love. This tells us that we can grow and nurture this power of aloha. No matter what has happened to us, it can be aroused and spread and grow. It also suggests that aloha can be its own path and gives us our first hint of where aloha comes from, the path of love and affection that spreads and grows from its root. And what is that root? Now here's where it gets interesting. Oha is part of the word ohana. And what is ohana? Family. It's the root from which we all come. So to sum it all up, aloha is a force or power that can spread between people and can be used for healing. No matter where you're at regarding love, it can be awakened and allowed to grow and thrive. It comes from somewhere else and passes through the family. We can also break down the word ohana and see if that sheds more light on the origins of aloha. O means to remain, go on. It's also food for a journey and there, yonder, and beyond, which implies the eternal or the infinite. Hana means the ridge post that supports the ridge pole. In a tent, the canvas stretches over a ridge pole, and the ridge posts hold it up, support it, and give the tent its height. For a tent to stand, the ridge posts are vital. So ohana, or family, is that which supports and nourishes us, and that which comes from beyond and remains. If we break down the word in a different way, we get our old friends oha, which means affection and love that grows and spreads, and na, which means calm, soothing. Take all that together and we get family comes from beyond and goes on. And family supports and nourishes us with affection and love that grows and spreads. So all those definitions reinforce and enhance each other. As we break down the words, the meanings expand. So aloha is no longer just about love or greetings. It's love and affection that spreads and grows from its root, the family. It's the Spirit of God that comes through the family from beyond and goes on. It's a power, a type of love that comes from beyond and is transmitted through the family into us and through us and will remain beyond us. So to the Hawaiians, the Spirit of God comes to us in two ways. From union with spirit or the spirits, and through the family and the ancestors. The part that comes through the family is aloha. And it's this type of love, this aloha, that allows us to commune with nature and receive the blessings and the life force, or mana, that comes from the earth and the sky through nature. The Kahuna Kailiohe said about the Hawaiians, people lived with an attitude about life that gave them what we would call great mana, power, over their surroundings. But it is really the power of love and kinship, working through the feelings of the objects we live among. The significant word here is kinship. For a kahuna or shaman to truly be a part of nature and draw on that power, he has to feel not only love, but also kinship. And this sense of kinship can only come from the aloha that flows through the family. If you didn't receive love from your family when you were young, if you didn't feel safe and weren't nurtured and comforted, then this true communion with nature isn't possible. Instead, you'll seek a return to oneness, or a union with spirits or a great spirit or universe, a type of spirituality that takes you outside and beyond yourself and has you merge with something greater. The feeling of this type of spirituality is airy, with a sense of expansion and oneness with all. All the great religions of the world seek this type of reunion, and the figureheads and their quests reflect this lack of aloha. The Buddha had no mother. Jesus was abandoned by his father, and Muhammad was an orphan. None of them came from an intact family, and each sought a higher awareness or relationship with something outside the family, beyond the world and nature. As a side note, it's kind of interesting that the tone of each of the great faiths reflects the search for a missing parent. Buddhism seeks the compassion of the missing mother. Christianity accepts the blame for a missing father, like children do, and seeks forgiveness. And Islam, in its mystical aspects, seeks the reunion of the lost lover with the beloved, like the return of the parents to an abandoned child. When you have come from a loving home, you experience nature from that foundation of aloha, that sense of kinship that has a very earthy feeling to it, with its sense of belonging and being a part of it all. Feeling like you belong is much different than feeling oneness. According to the Hawaiians, without that sense of kinship, you can never achieve oneness with nature and draw power from it. Instead, you'll have an idealized view of nature, a mental construct which may create feelings of oneness and the illusion of power, but it's a shadow compared to those that have aloha and that sense of kinship. But here's the cool part. If aloha has been severed or lost, it can be found again. It can be repaired, cultivated, and allowed to flourish. The Hawaiians had ways of working with the heart, that center in the body where aloha dwells. The Hawaiians believe that the na'au, the dantian in the Taoist system, stores and distributes mana, life force, or chi. In the same way, the heart stores and distributes aloha. By working with the earth, the elements of nature, and the ancestors, the Hawaiians believe that your heart could once again be filled with aloha. You can then gather more and more aloha, which will help you accumulate more and more power or mana. And when that happens, you will become one of those who heals by presence alone. In my workshop, The Secrets of the Heart Aloha, you will dive into the ways the Hawaiians fed their hearts and fed the world with aloha. Even if your heart is big and full with love and compassion, it can hold even more. and the effect that filling your heart with more aloha will have on your relationships, your work, and your life will amaze you. So check out the links below for the next upcoming workshop on the secrets of the heart, Aloha. Oh, in case you missed it, that was the pitch I promised you at the beginning. Okay, for those of you who want some more, this workshop is just one in a series from the Secret Teachings of Hawaii. They come out of my experiences in the islands, sharing the spirit of Aloha with the many teachers it led me to find. It contains material you won't find in any books or other workshops. You can find out more about the Secret Teachings of Hawaii by following the same links to the Secrets of the Heart, Aloha. And with that, Larry Kessler here, wishing you all the aloha you can handle and a lot more. Mahalo.